touch or more in return for a mobile phone. A 13-year-old boy has made a police report alleging that his modesty was outraged in August 2007 by a man who had given him a mobile phone. But Get Real understands that police investigations could show two other boys, both friends of this first boy, are victims as well. Still in shock over what had happened, their families are grappling with how they should deal with the situation. Your son was molested by a man. Do you feel the need to let him undergo counseling or to try and heal from it?
I think this is not necessary because I would treat this as a past experience that he learned a guilty lesson from this, and he will be more aware next time.
I actually asked one of the parents of one of those teenage boys I was talking about who was molested, and I said, do you think you should let your son undergo counseling? And the father said, no, because he's obedient at home, he's gotten better in his behavior. And I said, do you worry about the impact that it may have on his son? And he said, no, he seems okay.
You see, the problem here is there are lots more parents who are not so open to the concept of counseling because they do not understand what counseling is about. And they cannot, let alone understand what therapy is about. As far as they're concerned, they say, my son or my daughter is not mad. They don't need to see a counselor, a psychologist, let alone a psychiatrist.
Why do boys find it so hard to speak up if they've been sexually abused?
Well, firstly, we need to understand the dynamics of being boys and girls. Girls, when they have a problem, they talk about it. Boys, when they have a problem, they run around and they get physical about it. I think that's the basic difference with boys and girls. So if a girl get abused, eventually with counseling, with some therapy, you can get her to talk about it. With boys, it's a harder, we'll have a lot longer process to get them to talk about it.
What is the psychological impact like for boys who are sexually abused?
Well, there is no stereotype to the psychological effect, but they would be affected mentally, emotionally, and physically. Physically, you will see them more, they keep more to themselves, even from their families, and they get a little bit more aggressive when someone gets close to them, and they will start feeling sorry for themselves. Sometimes they can even go into depression.
Madam Wong, whose nephew was molested, feels his parents, who are divorced, have to bear some responsibility for what had happened. And your nephew actually ran away from home?
Yeah, for 1 month. He'll be staying with friends. Sometimes if not friends, he told me he stay at Void Deck or shopping center.
Thing is, he disappears for 1 month?
Yeah, and the father do try to call him, but he doesn't want to answer the call. Even the sister called, so he doesn't want to answer.
Do you feel that his parents are partly to blame?
Yes, I think so, because they only know how to think of work and left the children behind at home. They don't pay much attention to them.
After your nephew was molested, could you see a change in him?
A change in him? Yes, I think he got affected in one way or another. And we did bring him to a counselor. And now he's attending it on a weekly basis, I should say. But so far, he only been there twice. He's now a very good boy. He wants to go back to school. He regretted.
Before this whole case happened, did the family ever talk about things like this?
No, I don't think so. I don't think the father, the mother talked to him about this.
Do parents or schools shy away from talking about sex? When a child has been sexually abused, how do we even talk about it?
For the parents to find out whether the child is a victim or not is for the parents to spend that little time. If you didn't spend that time before, then maybe now's a good time. Get to know what went on the run, what happened to them. And if you suspect abuse, then the best way is to be point blank about it and say, were you hurt in any way? Did someone sexually touch you? Did someone touch you inappropriately? Were you sexually abused? There's nothing wrong with coming up and being upfront about it.
How can things improve in terms of educating children so that they can better protect themselves from these sort of things?
Parents need to be more open and talk about the risks when they run away, the dangers that are out there lurking in dark corners and out in the open in the community. It's not as safe or sterile as they think.
They are young and vulnerable. So young they don't know how to fight back when they're being taken advantage of. It's up to the grown-ups in their lives to do what is right by them.